Hello, this is Polly Buckingham. I want to talk about some wonderful books that I've been reading recently. I think they're really appropriate books for the times because they're all about books about going inward and looking at our inner lives, and also they're very much attached to the land. The first author that I want to talk about is Melissa Kwasny, and the book I'm recommending is Where Outside the Body is the Soul Today. Melissa Kwasny is a Montana poet, and I think the title tells us a lot about the approach that this is a book of poems, the approach the book takes. This is the book, and there's the spelling of her name. Some of the poems in here are actually letters to the soul, and I think in general this is a very quiet, complex book that really promotes inward looking. The second book is poems by Michael Heddick. The title of the book is The Animals Beyond Us. Michael Heddick is a Florida poet. This is the book, and that's his name, Michael Heddick, Hettich. Animals Beyond Us. And this looks at, again, what's inside of us and what's outside of us. The animals in these stories are also our animals. They are ourselves. They're parts of ourselves. And they're also animals out in nature. And it explores that interdimensionality between the inner world and the outer world, and also draws from the natural world. And then those are two living contemporary poets, fairly recent titles, the titles that have come out in the last 10 years anyway. An older author would be Miyazawa Kenji. And he's turn of the century, or early 1900s, Japanese author. The title of the book is A Future of Ice, Poems and Stories of a Japanese Buddhist. Miyazawa Kenji. And I just wanted to read the blurb by Gary Snyder on the back because I think it says everything we need. Miyazawa Kenji is one of the top poets of Japan. In his life and concerns, he was rooted in the basics, the Buddhist sutras, folklore, and local history, agrarian populism, and agricultural experiment stations. In his poetry, after early poems in Tenka form, he was experimental, cosmopolitan, and vastly inventive. His luminous children's stories are among the most popular in Japan. All modern Japanese poets are in his debt, not only for his formal playfulness, but for the way he could embrace both modernism and Buddhist practice. His life and thought have been taken as a model by the Japanese Greens movement. Okay. So there it is, A Future of Ice, agrarian Japanese poet at the turn of the century. And Morosa Di Giorgio is an Uruguayan poet. The collection is Diadem, and here is the spelling of her name. And these are really poems in a sort of folklorish vein, poems of the garden. And there are lots of animals in these poems. They can get very dark. There's talking animals. There's lots of movements inward. And yes, since I'm talking about animals, we have one here with us today. So this is just a lovely book. Most of the poems are prose poems. There's a lot of mushrooms and fairies and bears, and a lot of these characters take on very sinister qualities, but it really does roll up the black with the white and mix everything up and turn everything on its head. They're very surreal in their approach. And again, I think that is a movement inward. That is a way of looking at the opposites of ourselves and understanding that we are a bundle of all those things. And then finally, a more well-known poet, perhaps, to some of you, Tomas Tranströmer. And this is just his selected poems. It's edited by Robert Haas. It's my favorite collection of his, and I think probably the most welcoming collection of his for a new reader. Again, a very meditative poet, Nobel Prize winner, a Swedish poet. And these are poems you can really live in and experience. They are not narratives. None of these books are really narrative poems per se. But these in particular, it's a place that you go rather than a story that you're told. And the more you read them, the deeper you sink into that very, very quiet space. Okay, those are my picks for this week and for Get Lit Festival. I was also asked to reflect, to suggest what you might do to help support writers and the arts and myself. And I would say the first thing is please support your independent bookstores any way you can. I realize many of them that their doors are not currently open, but they have websites. Many of them are selling books online. Buy your books from them first, whenever you can. And when they do open back up again, be sure to attend readings, anything you can to help support what they're doing. Don't shop at Amazon for anything if you can avoid it. I realize that's difficult. Support your local library when you can, when they open their doors again. And in this interim, if there are ways that you can support them, please do. Support local writers by buying our books. My books are The Expense of a View and A Year of Silence. They're both fiction titles, and they can be purchased on my website at pollybuckingham.com. Either directly through me, or I'll send you to an independent seller. And also be sure to support literary journals and small presses. Lots of people are offering free readings and plenty of material that you can look at on their websites. So do support that. And send them a check, get a subscription, order some back issues. We are all still sending stuff out. And if you're interested in purchasing my poetry, I have a book coming out through Lost Horse Press called The River People in September. So you can look for that at that point. And have a good festival. And I hope to see you in person sometime sooner than later.